Hello friends, welcome to my channel JM Learning. Today we are going to learn on electric current along with its types, direct current and alternating current. Myself is Mr. JM Patil from Ekewa Polytechnic Nasik, India. Before we discuss the electric current, let us see the atom structure. Now the atom contains at its center a nucleus. The nucleus will have two particles inside it. One of the particle is the proton, which possesses the positive charge. Another is the neutron. The neutron does not have any charge on it. Now we can see in this diagram that around the nucleus another particle, that is third particles, are moving in the orbits. You can see there are two orbits for the carbon atom. In the first orbit, you can observe here that two electrons are revolving around the nucleus. In the second orbit, there are four electrons which are revolving around the nuclei itself. Now these electrons are continuously held with the nucleus by the forces, as the nucleus is positive and the electrons are negative. But as we move away from the nucleus, these forces will go on decreasing. So if electron is being absorbed by the atom, external electrons I am talking, then the overall charge on the atom will become negative. If the electrons are stripped away from the outer orbits of the atom, then the net number of electrons will be less than the net number of protons. So total effective charge on the atom will then become positive. The electrons and the charge atoms are the important elements that helps in describing the electric current. So here one point should be noted, that the number of electrons will be equal to number of protons for an atom. So the net charge on atom will be 0. If it absorbs the electron, then it will become negative. If the electron is detached from its orbit, then it will become positive. Now let us see what is an electric current. Here we can define the electric current as the rate of flow of the charges through a materials, which we normally call as the conductor. Two words are important: the rate and the flow of electric charges. It means that at what rate, that is at what time, number of charges are moved through the material, that will decide the magnitude of electric current. Electric current is nothing but a stream of the charged particles. We just have seen the electrons and ions which are moving through the material. We can get more idea here through this figure. Figure contains a battery marked as C. The battery will have positive and negative terminals. A conductor is connected across the battery terminals, which have the two ends A and B. Now the electrons which are present in the negative plate at a large quantity will be starts moving from negative plate through the external connecting wires. Then it will enter through the conducting material, and when it come out at point 8, then it will again flow through the conducting wires. Then finally it will reach to the positive plates. Thereby the flow of electron is completed. That circuit, or the what we can say, the electron which has started moving from the negative plates has again come to positive plates. So there will be flow of current, we normally say in the general sense. Now let us see how electric current flows. For a better understanding, here we are making analogy with the flow of water along with the flow of the electric current. So the first figure describes how a water flow will occur when there are two tanks. One of the tank on left side, you can observe that the tank has a good number of water inside it, that is, it has the higher level of water column. That means the water pressure is higher in the left side tank. while the right side tank has the less water inside it, so there will be less pressure. When we connect these two tanks through a pipe, then there will be the flow of water from the left side tank to the right side tank. Now why the water flow from left side tank to right side tank? Because the left side tank has higher pressure and right side water tank has the low pressure. It means that the water flows from high pressure to low pressures when they are connected through a pipe. Similar thing happens with the flow of charges. What we have just seen is the electric current. So electric current will always flow from the high concentration of charges to the low concentration of charges. When there are more number of charges on a material or a body, then it will be treated as the high voltage, and another body or the point where there are low number of charges, it will treated as the low voltage. So the flow of the charges will be always from the high voltage to the low voltage, which is similar to the flow of the water from high pressure to low pressure. So we can conclude that the water pressure and voltage are behaving in the similar ways. Once we got idea about how the water flow, we can easily understand how there will be the flow of charges from the high voltage to the low voltage points. Now there are some similarities between the flow of water in a pipe and the flow of electric current through a circuit. For these two figures will help us. The figure A describes that how water is flowing. Now for the flow of the water, there must be a closed loop, then only the water will flow. The water is to be flow through the pipe, and one of the mechanical load we have shown is a turbine. Only when the pump will operate. A pump will create a water pressure. That pressurized water will flow through this pipe as shown in this left side diagram and through the arrow, so that water will enter in the turbine. Turbine will rotate, it will do certain useful work, and again that water now at low pressure will flow through the same pipes, and again it will come to the pump. Again that pump will pressurize water, and same water is being continuously diverted to the turbine. Similar mechanism happens when we connect a light bulb across a battery. A battery has two terminals marked as positive and negative. These two terminals we have connected in this diagram to a electric lamp through the connecting wire. This green lines shows the connecting wires. Now just we have seen there, electrons will start flowing from the negative terminal through the connecting wires and through this electric bulb through its internal circuit or the mechanism, and they will again come out of it through connecting wire, again reaching to the positive terminal of battery. It means that the electron flow will be there because the electrons are being pumped out by this battery. So battery can be considered as the pump, just similar in water circuit, and these connecting wires are nothing but the water pipes, and turbine can be analog with the electric lamp or the bulb, which is we called as electrical load. So in this way the electric current flows. Flow of electric current is nothing but the flow of electrons from the negative terminal of the battery to the positive terminal of battery. Now once we got the idea that how there will be flow of charges within an electric circuit, now let us see the conventional flow of current and the direction of flow of electron. I have just described that from negative terminal the electron will start moving through connecting wires and reaching to whatever electrical circuit or load, and through again that connecting leads or wire it again come back to the battery. Now this flow of the electrons, whatever we are treating, is called as electron flow direction, while for marking of current we always mark the current which flow from positive terminal of battery through the connecting wires to the lamp or whatever that electrical appliances equipment. Again it will come out of equipment and through connecting wires again it will reach to negative terminal of battery, so completing the whole cycle. So conventional flow of current will be from positive terminal of battery to the load and again returning to negative terminal. It means that the direction of conventional current is opposite to the direction of electron flow. So this point should always be noted that flow of the current through an electric circuit is just opposite to the flow of the electron in a given circuit. Now, once we got the idea what is an electric current, let us first see its first type, that is the direct current. Now direct current is an electric current which supplies a constant flow of electricity, that is nothing but charges in one direction. Very important words in the definition is the constant flow and another phrase is one direction. It means that for a direct current which is always we get from a battery or a DC generator, when we connect it to a load, then that current will flow in the direction as shown in the figure, that is from positive terminal to connecting wires to the load through connecting leads or wire again returning to negative terminal. We can show this by a waveform or on a graph where x-axis will have the time scale and y-axis will have either voltage or current. So as there is constant flow, there will be a straight line which is parallel to the x-axis, that is time. So the flow of the current, its magnitude will be remaining constant whatever may be the time, and it has only one direction. So these are the two features of the direct current: constant value and in only one direction it flows. Now let us see the another type of electric current, that is known as alternating current. Now alternating current is an electric current in which the direction and magnitude of current alternates once for every revolution. It means that that current is not constant or its direction is not only one. Alternatively, or we can define that alternating current as an electric current which changes its magnitude and direction periodically. An important word is the periodically. It means that this current is going to have the same changes for a given cycle which will be repeated continuously. That's why the word periodically is used. In the first definition we have seen important word alternates. It means that it changing its direction and the magnitude alternately. Now this is shown in this diagram for showing an AC source. This symbol is used, a circle inside which a sine wave is drawn. That AC source will be connected to again to a lamp. Lamp has been shown as glow. It means that a current is flowing through the lamp, so it gives us the light energy. Now this current flow is in both directions, so two arrows are shown on this left side diagram. Now let us see the graphical picture alternating current, how a alternating current flows through a given load. The alternating current here plotted on x and y axis. Again the x axis is the time scale and y axis is the magnitude of voltage or current. Now we can see in this diagram that how the current is increasing from its origin 0, then reaching to the maximum value, then again falling back. Finally it will reach to 0 value, then it changes direction in the negative way and again its value increases in the negative direction, reaching to the maximum peak value. Again it go on decreasing negative value to 0, and it crosses again the time scale, that is x-axis. So whatever I have just shown from the origin to the positive magnitude to 0 to the negative peak and again attaining to 0 is called as the complete cycle of alternating current. It has two basic components. One is this positive of cycle, another is the negative of cycle. If you carefully observe it, you can see that both have the same symmetry, positive and negative of cycle. Whatever they have changed is the direction of flow of the charges. It means that the positive and negative of cycle combined together will form a complete cycle of alternating current, and same is repeated in the further way as the time progresses. That means the alternating current changes its magnitude and direction periodically. So this point is important. The time taken by the alternating current for positive and negative half cycle each will be called as the total time period. For a 50 Hz frequency, this time period will be of 20 millisecond, because that time period is related to the frequency as t is equal to 1 by f. So for 1 by 50 we get 20 millisecond. It means that for a 50 Hz frequency which is present in India, we have positive of cycle for 10 millisecond. Immediately after that we have negative of cycle for 10 millisecond. It means that alternating current is continuously changing its magnitude and direction, and this property makes it more useful as compared to the direct current. Once we got the idea about the direct current and alternating current, then let us see the comparison of alternating current and direct current, as many times we come across the comparison, and for students this is also an important subtopic for understanding the alternating current and direct current. Here we have done this comparison on certain parameters. So first parameter is taken as the definition. Just we have seen that alternating current is an electric current which changes its magnitude and direction periodically. For direct current, it is an electric current which supplies a constant flow of electricity or charges in only one direction. We can make the further comparison on the waveform basis, that is the graphical picture of these two currents, which is shown for alternating current is sine wave. For a direct current, a straight line parallel to x-axis. X-axis denotes the time and y-axis denotes the magnitude of voltage or current. The third point on which we can do the comparison is the frequency. For India, we got the frequency of alternating current as 50 Hz, while the direct current which does not changes its magnitude, so the frequency is 0. This is an important difference. Frequency of DC current is always 0. Now generation, that means how the alternating current is obtained. Alternating current is obtained through the alternators which convert the mechanical energy into electrical energy, and these are located at the power stations. It can be a coal based power station, hydro power station or nuclear power stations. Another way to obtain the alternating current is the use of the converter. If we have a direct current, then we can convert that DC into AC by use of converters. Both are extensively used in the industry and all applications. For direct current, we can get the direct current from the DC generator, which again convert mechanical energy into electrical energy for producing the direct current as the output of electrical. While another device which is the most important device source of the direct current is the battery. Battery is the combination of number of cells. Cells produces the minute DC voltage which we can increase along with its value as well as its magnitude. The next point for comparison or parameter is the use of transformer. Transformer here is a device or equipment which transform the voltage in an electrical system, that either the voltage is step up or step down without any change in the frequency. So such device is possible only for alternating current system. For DC current system, this device is not possible because its working itself is based on the alternating current only. Another parameter on which we can compare these two currents is the design of machine. For alternating current, the design is simple, less number of parts are there. For direct current machines, we have to design the commutator and along with is the assembly of brushes, so the complications are more. Now let us see the applications. Normally we adopt the use of alternating current in the most of the sectors. For domestic, every residential, we are using alternating current to operate the different home appliances like the electric bulb, the fan, the refrigerator, heater, geyser. In the commercial use or installations, that is the shop, multiplex, another way of the use of electricity is there. In industry, the alternating operating machines and the equipments are more efficient, so they are being preferred. So industrial use also has use application of AC currents. Now the DC currents are used in the DC motors, then in the batteries, then to do the electroplating, the DC current is required. In the electric vehicle, we use the battery, and battery produces the direct current. So electric vehicle operate on the direct current supply systems. Then every automobile vehicle will have the battery inside it because it required to operate the illumination, lighting and other control for which the DC is more suitable. In this way we can compare the alternating current and DC currents. So while concluding this lecture, I can say that you got the idea about the flow of electric current, then the types of electric current, what is DC current and what is AC current, their features and comparison of AC and DC current. With this, thanks for watching this video. Do like and share it, and also don't forget to subscribe my channel JM Learning.